Hello, this is DDR Penguin 72 here doing a little tutorial in Photoshop CS2 that was requested by HiddenSniper. So, I guess it's proper to do a character that I was doing fan art of from Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, or Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I've been working on this Snowmad Tuck card series for a while now, and I'm about finished. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started here since I don't have too much time. But we'll start by coloring the body, okay? Now, I don't have it on the screen, but I have the layers to my absolute right. I'm kind of going through them to see what's what. I don't really label them. But anyway, each of the lines are their own layer. And so this is to put colors in their proper depth in the picture so that, you know, this line would disappear if I were to put color on top of it, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's color the body then. So basically what I would do is, if my color swatches here, I have a lighter blue and a darker blue. And then I have the polygonal lasso tool selected right here. Yeah, the polygonal one. I'm not really fond of this kind of selection though, but it's what I do. It's slow, but it gets things done for me. So yeah, please bear with me, this does take some time. Estimated time of finishing coloring is usually about an hour or more, but this guy seems to require some detail, like that horn he's holding. I will admit, this enemy is probably the weirdest I've ever seen. I just discovered him yesterday, in fact. The game is already out in Japan, and someone made it to level 6-2, which is back on DK Island that's frozen. And then this enemy shows up, and it seems to be a variation of the tucks found in the Seal boss in World 1. But this one just plays a horn that sends ice fish at Donkey Kong. It's so weird. Like, if you've played Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong Country 2, you can relate it to Mankey Kong, that barrel-throwing orangutan, or that one Kremling pirate in Donkey Kong Country 2 where he uses a cannon to shoot at you. This guy just pretty much uses a magical horn and sends ice fish at you. It's so bizarre. And he's huge, too. I mean, he's bigger than Donkey Kong. Anyway, sorry for so much time taken there. Anyway, so I have that whole area selected. With a lighter shade of blue, I'll just fill in that area. Now, since I'm not that accurate with selecting, I'm going to have to go in here and use the smudge tool. Smudge tool I use a lot, by the way. Not just for correcting, but for other purposes. And so I'm just kind of correcting areas that, you know, just need to be filled. Hold on a second here. Let me make sure I'm still recording. Alright, I still am, miraculously. I wasn't just talking to myself. Yeah, I'm using this new app on an iPhone that lets me record, since my computer just doesn't let me record microphone anymore. Whatever. Anyway, I'm just easily getting rid of my errors here. I think I about have them all. It doesn't have to be hugely perfect, but, you know, what you get out of it's what you put into it. So, alright, so I am locking this layer, the button above layers. You can't see it, but it says lock transparent pixels. This lets me go into the area that I've colored and pretty much apply any other type of, I guess, action to this selected area. So if I do this, see, the other shade of blue will not exit the area. So basically this requires more of a good eye for shading and highlights. Usually around the eye areas I try to put some shading, just to give a feel that there's a socket in that eye. Not trying to get gross or get too detailed there, but you know, everything has eyes and sockets. So, okay, so in the neck area, I'm probably going to have a shadow here, so probably have that there. I mean, if you can tell by the reference, you know, that's kind of the neck area. Man, so bizarre. I tell you, it's like a saxophone playing penguin here. Like I said, when I first saw this guy, I was like, what? Just blew me away. Anyway, there's some shadow underneath the arm, underneath the belt. Where else would there be shadow? You also have to remember where the light is coming from. And here there's like multiple directions it's coming from, so you can decide if it's one direction or several. I'm probably just going to go for this area here, while this back area is left the back. Okay, this back area is left for some highlights, so that light is coming from behind him. Now, here comes the smudge tool. Actually, wait, I have been using the smudge tool. Wow, I should have said something. Anyway, I've been smudging it to make it look smoother. Do not be afraid of this flipper here. You know, we have color underneath the flipper, so that's not going to matter if the shadow goes there. So just, you know, kind of smoothing things out, being easier to the eye. At least I think so. Alright, so let me finish off here by coloring the tail. What layer was that one? Not 14, not 9. Oh, it was all the same. Okay, so unfortunately I have a little skin here of outline that went past the other one. So I have to go in there and delete it, or erase it. Also, I have a bit of outline that was not finished. I do my outlines in portable Psi. Just Psi Painter. That's how I get that done, through a curve tool. Anyway, this isn't about outlines, this is about coloring. Okay, so we're ready to color the tail. So we select our tail. Alright, color that area. Correct with smudge a little bit. Alright, we're set to go. Now apply the shading here. Yes. Yeah, sometimes you just kind of have to look for yourself to see if you're applying the shadows correctly. I'm sure I don't do it perfectly, but I try to do it in a way that makes the most sense to me. So yeah, I remember when I first started, I put shadows and highlights like wherever I felt like it, and that wouldn't really turn out the best, because nobody would know where light is coming from. Okay, so now I have this done. Now we're going to do some highlights. Now, with these tux drawings that I've been doing, I've been experimenting with every single one of them, trying to find the best way to color and shade them. And so one technique that I've done for, if you notice the sparkling spots of highlight rather than just a dab of highlight, is setting the brush at 20 pixels and just doing some dots here and there. Try not to get too much of a pattern Like, what I mean is, like, don't have one that's a line. Like, don't have dots that are in a line formation too much. I'm already doing it like crazy. But anyway, then go up to 38 or 36 pixels and then perform some big ones. Big spots. Don't overdo it, but, just kind of play around with it, see what happens. Unfortunately, I forgot one key thing, selecting this area. So some of the white is outside, unfortunately, of the area. So to fix that problem, I pressed Control and right click on the layer of the blue, the blue color, and then I pressed Control Shift and I to invert the selection. That way, when I press delete, everything that I've done outside of the area that I selected is deleted. So there we go. I'm safe. I fixed that problem. Next thing I like to do is first select the area again. Then through a new layer, I put a bunch of white. Now don't be afraid. I'm doing it in a layer underneath the dots. So I adjust the opacity to a very low level of probably 17%. And I start smudging. Smudging. Now, the dots are still a little too strong, so we're going to go to the dots layer and, maintain that selection. Go to Filter, Blur. I don't know how to say this. Gaussian Blur? Gaussian Blur, I think that's what it's called. You want Gaussian Blur. Adjust the radius to 4 pixels. 4 pixels. Okay. 4 pixels. And then adjust the opacity to probably 60%. And there's our first highlight. Looks spotty, doesn't it? Whatever. So, hope you like that. I'm going to do a little bit more of the same. Well, do a little bit more of the same here. So, select the area, dot. I don't want too much here because it's supposed to be only for the back side. Yeah. So put a few dots here. I don't know. Whenever I look at these characters from the game, they always seem like they just submerged from water. That's how much detail the highlights have. When I first started this, I would just go like with one brush of white and then adjust the opacity, and that was it. Kind of bland if you think about it. Okay. Alright, so go to, is layer 10 that one? Okay, yes it is. With the layer that's 17% opacity, that of white, just add in some accompanying shine to the back side. And then the spots, we do the same thing. Since now it remembered my Gaussian blur from earlier, I'll just apply the same kind. So that's 4 pixels radius. And then adjust it to 60%. So yeah, there's that. Alright, I'm going to do the tail at another portion, but not right now. For now, I'd like to color in the eyes. Yeah, I gotta color in the eyes. I gotta do something quick because I'm running low on time here. I did want to show the coloring of the horn or saxophone, whatever you want to call it, but that's just too far into the video. That's going to take me probably towards towards the end of this picture coloring, and I'm not going to have a video that long. So I'm just going to color these eyes really quick here. If you're still watching this video, I commend you. Hope you're interested. Okay, so white. We got that white color in there. Now gray, lock the transparent pixels, and shade away. Put a little shade here for the eyebrows. Eyelids, sorry. I tell you though, I've received some requests through this series that I've been doing. Like, people have wanted me to draw the owls, the fluffs, which are rabbits, and the walruses, just all the other kinds of snowmads. But this was kind of a project that I was hoping to finish before the release of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I mainly took on this project just because I like the tux, and mainly because I like penguins. If you can't tell by my title, I like Dance Dance Revolution and I like penguins. So I took it upon myself to draw the tux from this series, and I'm very close to finishing it. Very close. This got this variation, and if you're still watching, I got 2 more left from the moment I make this video. Okay, so just coloring in the lids here. Oh, my mouse is kind of iffy. It's getting old, having bad reactions to my clicks here. It's too difficult to find a wired mouse anymore. So anyway, I'm shading in the eyelids after all that chatter. Smudge tool to kind of even it out, make it smoother. Then select these eyebrows, apply a highlight and another layer. Now it is too bright, I agree. So we lower the opacity of that so it'll be easier. I lowered it to 44%. Oh, no, gotta keep the area selected. Forgot. Keep forgetting that. Okay. So there's the eyes, and so now for the pupils. Where are the pupils? Okay. Okay, so I like to get perfect circles for the eyes, and so I'm just going to get a circle here, kind of matching that, the size of what I drew in paint side, but it's not a perfect circle. And so I just made an area with the, what do you call that, elliptical marquee tool. Okay. So I turned off the layer with improper circles. Okay, now we make another circle, making a good guess. And delete the inside. Now we have a perfect circle. We make a duplicate, and then we rotate, pressing Control T, and rotating with the mouse, then holding Shift and go to the corner on the top right, hold, and make it smaller. So obviously he's looking up, he's playing an instrument. And now this one, rotate it, Control T, rotate it, well, not resize. Well, maybe resize a little bit. They don't really have huge pupils, as you can tell. I can from my fan art, I've already drawn eyes, I guess, that are too big. But it's my style. You know, I don't want to make it exactly alike from the official material. So, alright, so in a layer underneath these circles, I'm going to color these. And you'll see why I didn't just leave it as a black dot. Because, you know, I could have just made that oval and just left it as the eye. But that's not very detailed enough for me. So we use the paint bucket, fill it in. Kind of smudge it. Okay, so now we have pretty smooth eyes for the most part. Well, not the best looking eyes, but, you know, it'll do. And so, creating a new layer above the black, and using white while selecting the area of the layer. I hope I'm making sense, of the black, you know, circles. So now on top here, you know, we actually don't need to do that. Okay, forget what I said. I'm going to get rid of that new layer. What I wanted to do was edit the layer, lock transparent pixels. Okay, there we go. So this is what I normally do. Nah, it's too much highlight. Okay, so just a small white circle. These tucks don't really have much detail in their eyes anyway to begin with, so I don't really apply any sort of eye coloring like blue or green eyes. Okay, so lastly, what I'm going to show off is coloring of the beak. Well, no, I'm not going to show that, sorry. It pretty much is the same as coloring the body. So last thing I'm going to show is the hair. If I can find it. In fact, okay. No. Where is it? Yeah, this is what I get for not labeling my layers. I have to, okay, this one. Okay, so basically we're just going to go on a little selecting run. This is going to take a while, so I'll just kind of talk about things as I go along. So yeah, today's the 14th of February. Ugh. That's interesting. There's going to be a party at work tonight, and I'll have to clean up. Yeah, I clean a facility. So yeah, 1 week away from Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I'm excited about it and not that excited about it. You know, I kind of got a concern when the game was priced at $50 retail rather than the usual $60. And the first review score that I've seen so far from Edge Magazine rates it 7 out of 10. Now this is a game that I actually got to demo at E3's Best Buy demonstration. It was pretty fun. I enjoyed it, but it just... Okay, well, it's not really a problem, but it feels a lot like Donkey Kong Country Returns, which I guess isn't a problem. It was fun. It's just maybe I'm just ready for something new. I don't know. But geez, I gotta tell you, it takes effort to make a lovable creature like penguins an enemy in a video game. I mean, I've counted throughout this series. There's 8 different species of tucks with 5 variations. That brings a total of 13 instances you will see penguins. I'm not even counting the one that uses a huge robot machine. That one is a species I've already covered, but just uses a machine. I'm surprised. And they're bigger than DK. Yikes. That's just weird. I don't know. It just blows my mind. Anyway, finally, I'm done with selecting. So I'm going to select a gold and yellow, and for shading that orange. There we go. Yellow mohawk. Alright, so on this layer that I just made of yellow, we have orange. We're going to use orange for kind of a shadow here. So I'm going to make kind of a little protractor looking shape, triangle. It's kind of here. Okay. Now with the smudge tool, we go down and lower it to about maybe 20. Maybe a little bit thinner. 13. Yeah. And this is something that I've been using for my drawings for a long time for hair. It's probably not the best. But I just take a portion, of the shading, and I pretty much just make spikes out of the shaded the base of shading. You see, I'm yanking the shading and dragging it up. Yeah. It takes a lot of clicks. Just be aware that doing this pretty much completely, doing this completely just takes up room in your history log. So if you do this, if you thought, oh, well, I didn't color the eyelids or the body right, too late. You can't go back and undo what you did. Because every click you take counts as an action. So just be aware of that this will take your history away pretty much with every single click. It's a slow process, but you put some love into it and it looks good. I think it looks good for the most part. And kind of the grooves here in between spikes, kind of yank it back and forth just to I guess make it more smooth. That's what we want to do. Maybe apply another spark here just to, because that hair, that mohawk is hairy. We want to show that there's strands of hair, a bunch of strands. A little bit spikier here. I think. No, let's leave it that way. Then it's just a lot of trial and error, like what looks good, what doesn't. It's up to you. If it helps you when you're doing your art, have somebody maybe next to you and offer their criticism. Who knows what you'll learn or use later in your other pictures. So I made a highlight layer just above the coloring, and so I'm gonna just apply some white at the edges just to make the edges a little bit brighter. Okay. We don't want to leave them that way. We want to kind of lower the opacity. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I just had lunch. Lower the opacity to about 50%. That'll be good. So there we have it. We colored part of the body, part of the tail, the eyes, the eyeball, the eyelids, and the hair. Pretty much everything is pretty much the same thing. From here on out, I pretty much showed some of the techniques that I've used. So I hope you enjoyed that. Okay? Well, this is DDR Penguins, and thanks. DDR Penguins 72, sorry. So thanks for watching, and have a good day.